Today, we're visiting Bill and Susan, who 12 years ago decided to completely change their lifestyle and purchase a block within an eco-village. They've built a beautiful, sustainable home and also a thriving garden that gives back to the community.
I'm Bill Smart.
Susan Smart.
Susan Smart. This is the eco-village in Currumbin Valley. It's southern part of Queensland. We just love living here, basically. We were looking for community. That's really why we're here. We want to be part of a group of social people, and it's about community mainly, but it's also about the environment. We used to be wildlife clearers before we retired, and so we've got this empathy with nature, and this is what we've found here. You know, we were lucky to find this place, and this is where we're going to stay. We didn't want to live in a suburb where you go home, lock yourself away, and only rarely talk to your neighbours. No, that's not what we wanted. Yeah. So.
And even for myself driving here today, I can already feel the community spirit, and you know, there's people riding their bikes with their kids, and then you know, there's some chickens crossing the road. Then I questioned, why did the chicken cross the road? And I felt that from being here.
Just driving in.
Yeah. So, and for those that might not know, what is an eco-village, or what may qualify as an eco-village?
An eco-village is where you try to live as best you can sustainably, basically. You know, we use a lot of recycled materials when we build our homes. We use solar panels for our main power, with backup power from the grid, solar hot water, and we try to grow as much of our own food as we can. Yeah, so it's living sustainably, trying to tread lightly on the planet. Yeah,
we're not connected to mains water, so we've all got water tanks. So every house depends on water tanks for their water usage. We've got our own sewage treatment plant here, which means that, you know, we're completely self-sufficient. We're not connected to a council sewage. It means that there's just so many other ways that we live by sharing facilities that way, that we don't all have a pool. We've got one community pool. You know, having a community pool means that we all get together there in a community centre
and share point.
Meals, and it's So that is how the developers designed the village.
And the village is divided up into hamlets. So although there's about 150 lots, you still feel as if you're in a tight-knit community, because in our hamlet there's 8 houses, and the next hamlet there's probably another 8 or 10. You know, and we share things. You know,
mowers,
and
all those sorts of things. It means that we're not all buying the equipment. It keeps that footprint much lower for that reason. You know. Yeah. So, and the village, we have our own tool library here, where people can just, if they've got a project going on over at the workshop, the community workshop, they can borrow tools, or if somebody needs a big ladder that no one else has got, you know, you just lend it out.
Is there some sort of recycling centre going on?
Yes,
as well?
recycling. Yeah, we're very much into recycling.
Yeah, is that just rubbish, or is there because in some areas they've got you take your mowers or you take your whatever it is and they actually fix it up? Is there something like
there's
that
a repair cafe. I run a repair cafe. It's only just started up recently. Yeah, wow. But people can come in with a damaged whatever, you know, but the idea is to try and teach them how to fix it. So they have to help in the repair. They can't just leave it and walk away. Yeah. So it's the education of how to repair things, how to renew things, or maybe repurpose it, something different. Yeah.
That's super special. And you also have a really interesting house that I was having a look through and being absolutely amazed by. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, we looked at various styles of housing, and our last house we built a Queenslander, which was fairly big rooms but small verandas around all the way around the house. But we realised in this climate we need the other way around. We want big verandas, and you don't need big rooms. You know, we looked at the different designs, and we looked at rammed earth, straw bale, conventional timber frame, stud framed houses, and we fell in love with straw bale houses. You know, the thick walls. It's like, how can I explain? It's like living in a large esky.
That sounds pretty good, especially for summers around here.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So you can, once it's cool inside, you lock everything up and it stays cool. Once it's hot, you know, once you can get the heat into the building in the winter and you lock it all up, it stays warm.
Yeah, it does make a big difference, you know, closing the blinds and at the right time and then opening them and making an effort. So you have some really beautiful gardens around your house. Do you have any plants or flowers or things that you would recommend planting in people's gardens?
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for, really. We used to be wildlife carers, as I mentioned, and mostly for birds. So we plant a lot for attracting birds, so grevilleas, bottlebrush, you know. And we also plant for our own needs. So we've got a mango, we've got a macadamia nut, this one. So we get, you know, kilos of macadamia nuts off that one tree, you know.
That's all sort of around the house, and we keep this mainly as, because we've got the separate vegetable garden on the allotted area over there in the garden bed. So all our vegetables are grown over that side, and it does keep kangaroos out and the joeys that like to come and nibble on the small plants. So around here is mainly the house gardens, mainly for what brings the birds closer to the house, so that we can enjoy that. And at night we'll hear the bats out here tucking into all the flowers.
Yeah, and the bandicoots.
Yes.
They can be cheeky.
They can. But, you know, we share. It's good.
Absolutely. And I think that's another thing. Obviously, people are aware it's so wonderful to have birds around, but I don't know if everyone realises how important it is to have bats.
Very
the
important.
Flying foxes and having food for them. And yeah, exactly. Pollinating at night.
I mean, people always think pollination is down to bees, and obviously that's largely it, but it's really important to have good plants for bats. We can't survive without them as a species. We need them. They're as important as bees.
Yeah, we've got to share the planet with everything else. You know? And that's, again, what the village is about, sharing.
So important.
Yeah.
Well, you did mention the vegetable garden, and that's one of my favourite things to go and look at. So I reckon we go and check that out.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so we're in the community garden. Can you tell me a bit about what you've got going on here?
Everything here is for OzHarvest. And OzHarvest, as you know, feed the homeless. We feel so blessed to live here that we wanted to give something back to the community. And the idea was, you know, we know how to grow food, so we'll grow food and give that to OzHarvest. It started just Susan and I, but over time, other people want to get involved. They want to do the same thing. So we've got people that come in and help, seed sowing and planting, bit of weeding, general maintenance. So it's growing. It's building momentum. Yeah. So it's working really well. Yeah.
It's absolutely thriving as well. Look how green and luscious.
Yeah.
This is.
You know, it's the soil. It's the compost. You know, that you've got to create your own soil, rich humus, compost, and it grows itself then from there.
Yeah.
Our climate is so good that we can grow fruit and veggies all year round in the southeast Queensland. Yeah. So we grow seasonal foods. I try to grow something that we can pick all year round, rather than just one crop that you grow for months, harvest it and it's finished.
Yeah.
So the silver beets and the chards and things like that, we can take the outer leaves off and it keeps growing. So every week we can harvest off there, so all season, you know.
And I see the bees are loving.
Yeah, we let some go to
seed, and the bees are loving that.
Brings the bees in, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And a few flowers here as well to help. We've just finished the snow peas and we've got beans coming in now for the summer. So again, we can harvest the beans. You pick them regularly and they keep producing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How amazing.
So that's the idea, get volume rather than just individual plants that you only harvest once.
Yeah, that way you've got constant supply going to OzHarvest.
Every week we supply something.
Rather than going, here's a whole lot of food for 1 month and then come see us in a couple months when the rest of it grows back.
Yeah. So what I found works well for that, these garden beds here were the original garden beds put in by the original owner. They are just the standard garden beds on top of soil. So the fertilizers and what you put in end up in the subsoil. Right? And if there are any trees around, the tree roots come up inside. Fortunately, this area doesn't have a lot of trees. But so I started then with the wicking beds. And if I was to start a garden again, I think I'd make it all wicking beds in a small area. If I had large acreage, then I'd do a different system again. I'd do syntropics. But in an area this size, I'd put them all wicking beds. You can go away, you can fill it up with water, go away for a week, not have to worry about it.
That's very
true. As long as the soil's good and the water's there, it'll keep growing.
Be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Now, I have tried the IBC tanks,
Yes.
wicking beds before, and they work fantastically, but I haven't seen these before, and these look pretty fancy.
They are fancy. They're a professionally built wicking bed. There's a company in Victoria, in Melbourne, that make these. I had to get a grant to put this many in, and fortunately Bendigo Bank came to my aid, and they helped produce all this hardware, if you like, and they've been very supportive. So the wicking beds we made quite simply. They're relatively cheap. You can get a food grade wicking bed for about $100, $120, something like that. Cut it in half, and you've got 2 beds. And then you put some sort of support underneath for your reservoir, and then some fabric to stop all the soil going down into the reservoir, and then fill it up with your compost. And that works really well. These do the same principle, but they have a plate with little legs that sit down into the water, and the legs are hollow, and the soil is in the middle of those legs, and that wicks up into the soil like this one.
Right.
These are about $500 each, so they're a bit more expensive than this, but they will last longer. You can sit on them if you want to do your planting. It allows people, they're a lot stronger.
Yes.
And it's easier to put a frame on, or a climbing frame if you want to grow tomatoes or some sort of vertical peas and things like that. You can put a frame on these. You've got a little holes there for a frame to go. So they're really good. They are really good, but a bit more pricey.
Yeah, so you've got your more costly option and then your DIY option all in one place.
Yeah. So we started off this way, and then with the grant, I got a government grant, and I'll take you to another place where we've got 13 of these.
Wow. And I think with people's busy lives as well, you can put something like this in a small space, or you can have even maybe a smaller wicking bed that you can create.
Yeah. Well, I've started to make a smaller one for patios. I try to use, as living in EcoVillage, try to use materials that will be thrown away otherwise. So if you go to a grocer's, they've got lots of these that they just put into landfill, which is not good. And you can get signs from real estate agents or from political places. This is core flute. So we've got, those are given away, these are given away, and everyone's got lots of flower pots. So the idea is to cut this so it just fits inside there, inside the inner, and then you put a series of flower pots there and just glue them around the edge. Right, and they're your legs, and then you cut, well, I have to show you, then once you've got the flower pot in, you cut the hole there. So that, when this is cut, will fit inside there with the legs sitting down into the water.
Yeah.
In the corner, you just cut a little piece of pipe that will go down through the core flute, and that's your filler.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Right? And then just put a little hole in the side, which is your overflow.
Yep.
Because you don't want it to fill right
Yeah,
up.
you don't want to drown the
You don't want to drown
plants.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So you got to. So it's very simple to make. And then, if you wanted to, you could build a timber frame like we have here. Make it look a bit pretty.
Yeah.
Or you could paint the outside. Put in some sort of decoration. You can have this on your balcony.
Well, you've done such an incredible job with this community garden. It's just absolutely thriving, and I know that those that are receiving the food would be so grateful. But I know you've also got a personal garden, so I wouldn't mind going and have a look at that as well.
As I said, I've been so busy, I haven't weeded it or looked after it for a while. So
that's totally fine.
Right. Welcome to our garden.
Thank you. Now you say it's a bit embarrassing, but to me, this looks absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I've been so busy, I've neglected it a little bit, but yeah, we're coming to the end of the winter crops, and we need to put the summer crops in, a lot more lettuces and beetroots, eggplant, and the summer crops, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important though for people to see that gardens don't look like this picture perfect thing all the time. Because you've got the picture perfect garden over there, but everyone's into different things too. Cause like someone who might like a bit more of a wild garden, you know, this might be their cup of tea.
Yeah, so as I said, you know, trying to harmonise with nature, I decided to put in a frog pond, but I didn't want cane toads to get in here as well. So I raised it up and built a seating arrangement, because the toads, although they can climb, they can't go upside down.
That's
so
a good
they
point.
can't climb up with this here. So it's worked very well. We've got some tadpoles in there. We don't know quite what species it is, but we can see them swimming around. And it's an old spa bath, again, recycled from the tip shop. It's an interesting thing. The main thing about gardening is to experiment. Keep trying different things, you know. And what works, you continue. What doesn't work, you've learned.
Yeah.
It's even, you know, at my age, I'm learning things all the time, you know. So.
And that's what keeps it interesting.
It does, yeah. It's definitely not boring.
And in the corner there, I can see Susan's chickens.
Yes.
I think I might have to go and have a chat with her, because she
should.
introduced me to her as the crazy chicken lady, and I can relate to that. Even though I don't have chickens of my own, I do love them. So I might have to go and have a chat with her about that.
You do that, yeah.
So word on the street is that you are the chicken lady. They're looking pretty happy with their assortment of greens.
Yeah, they really enjoy that. That's sometimes as the garden, you know, things go to seed, and although we leave the flowers mostly for the bees, Bill's ready to start planting out there soon, so we can gradually start to give this. We share that with the girls, but as you can see, it doesn't last long. 5 minutes and it's gone. But that's important. They don't get out into the garden. They do go out in free range outside of the pen every afternoon. But yeah, they go that way, so they don't get into the garden.
Yeah, that's very smart. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have much of a garden left.
Yeah, it would look like that very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you go living with the chickens? You know, are you using any of their manure for the gardens?
Oh, yes, yeah.
What does that look like?
So we clean this area out roughly. I mean, at the moment, we're building up a deep litter type of an environment. It's been too wet over the last couple of seasons to do that, but we're hoping for a bit of dry weather. And the more you can build up deep litter, then it brings natural bugs in, which is good. They need that, obviously. But then when we're cleaning out the bedrooms and the laying boxes, and all of that goes into the compost, and Bill turns that over and mixes that with horse manure that he gets from a local stables, gets that every couple of months, gets a trailer load of that, and then it all ends up there, and then he ends up, as he's probably explained, with the soil, that all ends up into the garden. Yeah, so it's a cycle, very much.
And I loved how you called them bedrooms.
Oh, they're
because
bedrooms.
I hadn't really thought about
well,
that.
That's where they sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. So this is the living room, and we now have an interconnecting door with the chickens that the lady next door didn't know how much she needed chickens when she first arrived, but once she saw the eggs and the production process, and yeah, so we now share chickens, which is really good. We've learned, and we've now got a solar panel on the roof which operates this store, and that opens at a preset time and closes, which also means they're safe at night. You know, that closes just after dark, and that means that, you know, pretty much that's python proof, which is important around this area. We get a lot of pythons. So at the moment we're getting 9, 10, maybe 12 eggs a day, which is really good. And that means, you know, we can share those with people that live around that don't have chickens.
Yes.
Or sometimes it's really nice if someone comes in and does a job for us and they, you know, they just come to help. It's nice to be able to give someone a few eggs to say thank you.
Yeah.
And that's the way the village runs.
They're all very friendly too.
They are. It's really one thing I will talk about if people are considering chickens. I think it's hard work at the beginning, and most of these girls we actually got from about just over a week old, 2 weeks old, which I'd not done before. But one of the things that does give you the chance to do is to actually train them. And chickens can be and need to be trained. If you can do it from very young, you get chickens that are manageable. You can pick them up when you need to in a hurry. Last thing you need is to be running around with a chicken that needs urgent attention for some reason, or is in a place that she shouldn't be, the garden. You need to be able to know that you can just pick them up when you need to. And that takes time at the beginning, but it pays off as they get older. And when you're really hot, really tired, at the end of the day, if you want to just bring them in, you can just go around and collect them up, bring the dinner bucket, and they'll follow you anywhere. But that training takes the first few weeks. It's, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks at the beginning, but it's worth it. And they can be trained. People, they're smarter than some people might give them credit for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really, really helpful. It's a really good way to teach them. They know where they can and can't go. I mean, sometimes they forget, but generally speaking,
they're pretty good.
Yeah, it's important.
So we're in a different section of the EcoVillage, and this is what you were talking about with those 13 of these...
Yes, of the manufactured wicky beds.
Yep.
They're all linked together, so you only have to fill in the water into one of them, and it spreads along the length.
Wow.
And the same on this side.
Well, that's quite smart, isn't it?
It is. So you just fill them all up. It's following on from the other garden. They work so well, and we needed more production for OzHarvest. So the Queensland government, I applied for a grant, and the Queensland government gave me a grant for these. So,
oh, wow. Well, how great's that?
So these have been in for about 3 years now. As you can see, some we've harvested. We probably harvest about 3 or 4 beds each week, and then replant. So it's like a rotation system. They work very well. And because it's remote from where I live, I can fill it up with water, put the seedlings in, and walk away and leave it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you're not having to always come over here, which I guess eventually you might end up, I don't know, if it was me, I'd probably get a bit lazy. I go, oh, I'll go there tomorrow, and then if they're not wicking, and then everything dies, you know. Whereas this option that you've got is that if you once again, if you're not around, you can fill it up.
It just gives us that extra production, and it works really well.
And it's really great to hear that the surrounding community here has really gotten involved and contributing what they can as well.
Yeah, as I say, people buy extra, can of food or a packet of pasta or something, and they contribute that each week as well. It's a few dollars from, and if you've got 140 houses here, each just putting in a can of beans or something, it really adds up.
Makes quite the impact.
It does, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Bill, and to Susan, who didn't come along for the ride here, but for having us, for showing us around, and I guess for inspiring me to maybe be a bit more involved in the community and even the neighbours that I have.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you can use this on a street by street basis. It's nothing to say you have to live in an eco village. You can still be environmentally aware.
Yeah, and apply the principles, some of the principles that you're doing
exactly,
here, out in the rest of
Yeah.
the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's what we hope. Yeah.
Appreciate it.